If you're like me in the public sector at the moment, some people's careers are progressing, some people are moving on, some people are moving laterally, and regrettably some people are leaving the public sector. Yes, I'm talking to you about that thing that we try to avoid time and time again, redundancy, or the situation by which we no longer have a job. Now, it's a particularly turbulent time for a lot of public servants. And one of the things that I would like to talk to you about is a thing which is referred to as the GROW technique. It's not yet another buzzword, but it's a way in which we are coping with a particularly unpleasant item which is afflicting our lives. So, the first thing is, of course, acceptance of the fact. And I'm suggesting to you that we do not hide away from the fact that our jobs may not be secure, that we might not have a job. And the GROW technique says to you, firstly, make sure that you understand what the situation is. So the first GROW, G, is to make sure that you have a goal in mind. If this organization is going, we must have a goal as to what we're intending to do. Do we intend to retire? Do we intend to go part-time? Do we intend to dedicate our lives to something else? Maybe a lot of you have something that you've been thinking about for many years, and this is now an opportunity for you to pursue it. So think very carefully, what are my goals in life? What is it that I want to do with the remainder of my life? And to a very large extent, sometimes people look at this as if we're going to live 1,000 years. It's not going to live 1,000 years. There's a particularly finite period of time. So in the remaining time, what are our goals for life? Secondly, if we've got our goals fairly clear, we need to ask ourselves, what is the current reality? The key word here is reality. So what is the current reality? Are we going to be made redundant now? Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be 12 months? Are we going to be offered a redundancy package? Are there going to be alternatives? So make sure that you have the reality very, very clearly in your mind. Thirdly, it's old word options. What different options do I have? Sometimes it's good to sort of carry out a personal inventory to find out what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what are the opportunities and threats in the neighborhood. So what options do we have? And lastly, it's about the W, the will. Establish the will to actually do something about it. Because it is far too easy to sit back, adopt the victim complex, adopt the victim role, and say that it's all happening to me. Use the GROW technique. Look at goals. Look at what the current reality is. Think of the different options that are opening out to you. And establish the will to do something about it. Because if you don't do something about your life, somebody else will take the opportunity. It may not always be to your liking.